Why are butterflies so colorful? The Secret Lives of Colorful Butterflies and Beyond, a Sibling Adventure. Why are butterflies so colorful? Aaru asked Anant as she watched a beautiful butterfly flutter around her balcony garden. Mom and Dad, sitting nearby and enjoying their mug of coffee, smiled on the conversation of their little ones and planned a visit to the Bannerghatta Butterfly Park in Bangalore for a weekend after knowing about their curiosity. Aaru and Anant were excited as they arrived at the Bannerghatta Biological Park and were immediately captivated by what they saw. Bannerghatta Biological is India's first butterfly park, which with its lush green surroundings houses a large butterfly conservatory with hundreds of species, a butterfly museum, and an audiovisual room for visitors to learn more about these fascinating insects. As they walked through the conservatory, beholding the butterflies of every hue and color, Aaru pointed at a particularly vibrant one. "Anant, look at those ones, aren't they so diversely colorful?" she exclaimed, her eyes wide open with wonder. Anant, equally curious, added, "And how do they become butterflies? Weren't they caterpillars before?" Enthused by their interest and curiosity, the tour guide said, "I'm glad you asked these questions. Butterflies are indeed fascinating creatures, and their life cycle is one of the most amazing processes in nature. They use their colors for different reasons. Some colors help them attract mate, while others may serve as a warning to predators that they might be poisonous. Bright colors can say, 'I am not tasty,' while dull colors help them blend into their surroundings to hide from predators." Aaru's eyes sparkled. "So, their colors are like secret messages?" "Exactly," the guide replied. "And it's not just the colors, but the patterns on their wings as well. Some butterflies even mimic the colors and patterns of other, more dangerous species to trick predators into leaving them alone." "But how do they become butterflies? They start as caterpillars, right?" Anant further quipped. "In fact," the guide replied, "butterflies go through a process called metamorphosis, which has 4 stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult." The guide led them to a section of the park where they could see the different stages through which the butterfly egg passes before becoming a butterfly. It all starts when a butterfly lays eggs on a plant. After a few days, the eggs hatch into tiny caterpillars, also called larvae. These caterpillars eat and eat, growing bigger and stronger. "They're like little eating machines," Anant said with a laugh. "Exactly," the guide chuckled. "After a while, the caterpillars find a safe place to pupate. It forms a chrysalis, the caterpillar's body breaks down into a kind of soup, and then it starts to transform. The pupa stage is crucial because during this time that the butterfly develops its wings, eyes, antennae, and legs. Even though it looks like nothing is happening on the outside, there within a chrysalis, the caterpillar's body breaks down into a kind of soup, and then it starts to transform. Slowly, it changes into butterfly. This process can take anywhere from few days to a few weeks, depending on the species." Aaru grasped. "So, it's like magic. The caterpillar disappears and a butterfly comes out?" "Yes, it does seem magical," the guide agreed. "When the butterfly is fully formed, it breaks out of the chrysalis, dries its wings, and then flies off to start the cycle all over again." Anant thought about this for a moment. That's a lot to go through. It's like they have to go through all those changes to become something beautiful. "Exactly," the guide said. "Each stage of their life has a purpose. As caterpillars, they focus on eating and growing. The pupa stage teaches us valuable life lessons, sometimes the most important changes happen quietly, inside, and when we emerge, we are ready for new and exciting things. It's a reminder that growth and transformation are often hidden but essential parts of life, just like butterfly in its chrysalis. When they become butterflies, they can fly, find mates, and lay eggs to continue the cycle. Every stage is important for survival and for ensuring the species continues. Aaru nodded thoughtfully. It's kind of like growing up, isn't it? We go through different stages in life, learning new things and becoming who we are meant to be. That's a wonderful observation, Aaru, the guide said. Just like the butterfly, we all go through changes. Sometimes those changes can be hard, but they help us grow into something beautiful. The siblings were silent for a moment, thinking about the incredible journey of the butterfly. Then Aaru asked, do butterflies remember being caterpillars? Or do they forget everything once they become butterflies? The guide smiled at this intriguing question. Scientists are still studying this, but it's believed that butterflies might retain some memories from when they were caterpillars. For example, if a caterpillar learns to avoid a certain smell, the butterfly might remember that. Isn't that amazing? That's so cool! Anant exclaimed. So even though they change completely, they still keep some of their past with them. Exactly, the guide said. And that's another lesson for us. Even though we grow and change, our experiences stay with us, helping us make decisions and guiding us in our new stages of life. As they continued exploring the park, Anant and Aaru learned more fascinating facts about butterflies. They discovered that some butterflies migrate thousands of miles, like the monarch butterfly, which travels from North America to Mexico. They also learned that some species only live for a few days, while others can live for months. As Aaru and Anant continued their walk through the Bannerghatta Butterfly Park, their mind buzzed with all the new information they had learned about butterflies. Aaru couldn't help but wonder aloud, are there other creatures that change as much as butterflies do? Their tour guide, who had been walking with them, overheard the question and smiled. Of course, Aaru, there are other creatures that go through transformations as amazing as butterflies' metamorphosis. Anant's eyes widened with curiosity. Really? Like what? The guide led them to other part of the park where they could see displays of different animals and insects. Let me tell you about a few of them, the guide said. Another fascinating example is the frog. Frogs? Anant and Aaru echoed, a bit surprised. Yes, the guide nodded. Frogs too go through metamorphosis, just like butterflies. They start as eggs in water, and then they hatch into tadpoles. Tadpoles look like little fish and live entirely in water, and use gills for breathing. As they grow, they start to change. They develop legs, their tails get shorter, and eventually, they lose their gills and develop lungs. By the time they're adults, they've completely transformed into frogs that can live on both land and in water. Wow! Aaru exclaimed. So, they go from swimming in the water to hopping on land? That's amazing. It really is, the guide agreed. And there's another creature that goes through an incredible transformation: dragonflies. Anant perked up. Dragonflies? How do they change? Dragonflies start their lives as larvae, called nymphs, in water. Nymphs are very different from adult dragonflies. They don't have wings, and they spend their time hunting small insects underwater. After growing for several months, or even years, depending on the species, the nymph climbs out of water and sheds its skin. What emerges is fully formed dragonfly with wings that can fly over water, fields, and forests. Aaru's eyes widened. So, they go from living underwater to flying in the air? That's like living in two different worlds. Exactly, the guide said. Their transformation is just as dramatic as the butterflies. And it's just not insects and amphibians, some marine animals go through big changes too. Take the starfish for example. Starfish start as tiny free-swimming larvae that look nothing like the adult starfish we are familiar with. As they grow, they settle on the ocean floor and gradually transform into the star-shaped creatures we recognize. Anant and Aaru were amazed. I never knew so many animals could change like that. Anant said. Aaru nodded. It's like nature's way of giving them different abilities at different times in their lives. The guide, pleased with their understanding, exclaimed, exactly, each stage of their life gives them different tools for survival. It's a reminder that change, while sometimes challenging, is necessary for growth. Anant and Aaru left the park amazed at the diversity of life on Earth, realizing that the world is full of incredible life forms, each with its own unique strategy for growth and differentiation. They wondered whether they too will pass through such transformation in their journey of life. As they walked away, Aaru asked one more question, her curiosity still burning. Do you think there are other creatures out there with even more amazing transformations? Anant smiled at his sister. I bet there are. And I can't wait to learn about them on our next adventure. With that, siblings left the park, their minds filled with wonder, eager to learn more about the world around them. They knew that, just like the butterfly, they too were on a journey of transformation, each day bringing them closer to becoming the best version of themselves.